A Carol for Gobbolino. On Christmas Eve, the children at the farm wanted to go carol singing. They invited Gobbolino to go with them. Gobbolino was overjoyed, for long ago he had been born a witch's cat, and nobody would have dreamt of inviting him to go out with them to sing carols. But now, at last, he had become a proper farm cat, and he had a most beautiful singing voice. It was difficult for him not to boast about it just a little bit to the other farm cats who had not been invited. Not that he meant to make them jealous, but he did. All the farm cats jeered at him.
You go carol singing? They must be mad.
Gobbolino meant to ask the farm children if the 15 other cats might come too, but the cats got ahead of him. They charged into the farm kitchen in a furry rabble, pushing and shoving each other.
We want to go carol singing,
yowled the 15 cats.
We can sing just as well as Gobbolino.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
But some of them sang too sharp and some too flat. Some couldn't remember the words and some couldn't remember the music.
Get those cats out into the yard,
shouted the farmer's wife.
We don't want that nasty din in here. Scat!
The 15 cats fled for their lives. Gobbolino hid under a chair.
Don't worry about them,
the children told Gobbolino.
Sing with us. We'll look after you.
The children set off together, the biggest girl carrying Gobbolino under her coat so that the farm cats shouldn't see him. The 15 cats watched closely as the 5 children crossed the farmyard carrying a lantern. The girl put Gobbolino down at last, and he found himself in the depths of the forest. Before long, they came to a little cottage. The farmer's children tapped politely at the door.
Merry Christmas,
they called.
May we sing you a Christmas carol?
The man and woman who came to the door beamed kindly at the 5 children and their little black cat.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
My word, that is quite splendid, said the woman. I never heard a little cat sing so well in all my life.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
But at that moment, there came a rustling all round them in the woods, with a whispering and a hissing that grew nearer and nearer. Looking over their shoulders, the children could see green and yellow eyes gleaming in the darkness behind them. The hissing sound became worse. Then voices repeated over and over again, Beware! Beware! Gobbolino is a witch's cat. The man of the house peered out into the darkness and saw the gleaming eyes among the trees. Instead of inviting the singers inside, he closed the door, and they heard him slowly retreating into the kitchen beyond. Disappointed, the children left the cottage.
We know it isn't true, dear Gobbolino, they said, seeing him crouching in the snow. But you can't go back now. Those cats will get you. Come along with us. We'll carry you in turns.
Gobbolino huddled inside the biggest girl's coat until they reached the next house, where he was determined not to draw any attention to himself. But when the people welcomed them and joined in their singing, he simply couldn't stop himself. He dropped on all 4 paws into the snow and lifted up his voice with the rest of them.
The first Noel, the angels did say,
What a beautiful voice your cat has, said the people. We never heard a cat sing like that before.
Where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold
But just then, a chorus of voices arose in the woods behind them, chanting louder and louder,
Gobbolino is a witch's cat! Gobbolino is a witch's cat! At this, the people from the house just melted away. The door was closed sharply, and the farm children were left outside in the snow with Gobbolino. Presently they came to some gates, and when they went through them, they found the woods had come to an end. The cats wouldn't be able to hide here, and the farm children were determined to pelt them with snowballs if they dared to follow them into the park. Gobbolino crouched under the coat, feeling very miserable. This time he wouldn't open his mouth at all, and when at last they saw a huge dark house standing out against the white parkland, he vowed that nobody should guess he was there. The children tiptoed up the stone steps and knocked timidly on the door. Nothing happened. "They're out," said the children. "Let's sing a carol just the same."
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
They stood in a circle in the driveway in front of the great mansion and sang a carol. Gobbolino sang nothing at all. And it was just as well, because when he peeped out again from his hiding place, he saw that every window in the house had a pair of green or yellow eyes peering out of it, and the eyes were not human eyes. They could only belong to cats. "Come away quickly," Gobbolino urged the children. "The house is empty. The cats got here first. If we aren't careful, they may get us too." The carol party ran for the gates of the park, and one by one the cats came tumbling out of the house. They followed the children across the snowy fields, back into the woods, along the rides and down the paths towards the farmhouse. The children ran and ran, but before long they became exhausted, and the mewing and yowling of the cats behind them was so frightening that they didn't know which way to turn. "Put me down and let me go free," said Gobbolino. "I don't care if they catch me, but you must go safely home to your mother. Set me down and run for all you're worth." Gobbolino ran and ran. The snow was clean and bouncy, and he had no difficulty in keeping well ahead of the avenging crowd of cats. The children were safely headed for home, and that was what mattered most to him. He ran and ran, looking to right and to left for a hiding place. He was getting quite short of breath when he ran right into the center of a village, and there in front of him was a little church, all lit up for Christmas with bright candles. People were streaming into the service, and Gobbolino joined them. He felt safe at last in the atmosphere of peace and goodwill. He followed the procession up the aisle to the altar steps, where there was a nativity scene, Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus in a manger. "Let the little cat look too," said one of the shepherds, and they lifted up Gobbolino so that he could see. Suddenly, there came a hissing from the door of the church. "Gobbolino is a witch's cat. Gobbolino is a witch's cat." But nobody paid any attention, and presently it died away. Silently, the 15 farm cats crept into the back pews, their green and yellow eyes half closed, no longer jealous and spiteful, but very watchful. The choir began to sing a carol, and without thinking, Gobbolino began to sing too.
Stood a lowly cattle shed.
His voice rose up to the arches of the church, but nobody interrupted him. The farm cats sang as well, some sharp and some flat and some without any words or music, just singing la la la. The rest of the congregation played their part, and the church was full of music. Then the people began to leave the church.
Gobbolino stayed until they were gone. He thought he might wait until the farm cats had left too, but he found them all around him in the pews, calling his name in gentle voices.
We're sorry, Gobbolino,
They told him.
we didn't mean to be so unkind. Let's all go home together and look after each other in the forest.
When they reached the farmhouse, they found all the animals had poked their heads out of their stalls, while the children were running in and out of the barns.
Gobbolino! Gobbolino! Oh, he's coming at last!
The cats swept into the farmyard. One after the other bid him good night and quietly vanished. Gobbolino trotted up the steps to the kitchen door. The farmer's wife petted and praised him as the children unfolded the story of their adventures. Gobbolino had come back to the farmhouse kitchen where he belonged, to be forever after Gobbolino the kitchen cat.